Okay, so in our previous video, we reached a point where we printed consecutive characters in a string, and so the number 2 starts with the third character, the fourth, and the fifth. Okay, so we can also try to get characters in reverse by using the minus sign. So we can say print A from our string A, and we can use -5 to -2. So what we'll be doing is that it will go in reverse from -5 to -2. And as you can see, it gave us, so this one would be 0, -1, -2, h is -2, -3, -4, and so it will start from after -5. Okay. Another thing we can do is print the length of the string. And so we can say print len A, which gives us the number of characters in the string. Now there are also things that we can do to strings, such as, for example, remove the white space in the beginning and at the end. So let's say that I declare A in a little bit of a different way. So I'm going to add some white space in the beginning and also at the end. So if I assume that A looks like that, let me see what it looks like. Okay, so I'm going to print A. You can see here that there's some white space in the beginning and also there is some at the end. And so to remove that, what I can do, I can say A dot strip, which would remove the space. So what happens here is that we are using the dot notation. So strings have built-in functions that we can use, and if we want to use them, we can use the dot notation. So this is a function or a method associated with strings that removes white space here and at the end, but does not then reassign the value to A. So A will remain the same, but A dot strip will give you back the same as A without the white space in the beginning and at the end. So if you see here what happens when I print A dot strip, this is what I get. But if I print A again, A remains the same. So it does not go back and reassign whatever it did into A. A remains whatever it is, and A dot strip is the same as A, but without the white space in the beginning and at the end. Now, if I want to remove the spaces and or replace them with an underscore, what I can do is I can use A dot strip, for example, and then also do replace and replace takes 2 arguments. So it takes what do you want to replace and with what do you want to replace it. So we want to replace spaces with an underscore. Now another thing that we want to talk about here is the return value of functions, right? So we had a string called a, and we had a function or a built-in function for strings that can remove the white space in the beginning and at the end. And so a.strip, what it did is that it removed these and returned a string. Right? It returned a string without these white spaces in the beginning and at the end. And so the output of this is a string. And that string also inherits the functions. And so we can call for this returned string, after we apply the function, we can call another function. And in this case, it's going to be the replace function. And so if you see the output of this, okay, it would be okay, so if you noticed here that first A that has a white space here, what happened is that A got stripped first, and then it gave us this, and then this had the replacement of all its spaces with an underscore and gave us this. So we can call different functions on functions that call or that return a string. So since a.strip returns a string, we can use that string and call other functions with that return value. Now, other things that we can do is we can change in all of the letters into a lowercase or all of the letters into an uppercase. And so we're going to try to do that. And so we're going to use a.lower and see the output of that. So now all of them are lower case, and we're going to try the upper. And so now all of them are uppercase. We can also split according to space, which will return for us the words. So we're going to do here split. Okay. So split is a little different. We determine where we want to split, so we'll split according to space. And so what happened here is that it generates a list of words. If we want to avoid this, that is the result of the white space, what we're going to do is we're going to first strip, right? And then after we strip, we will call the split. And so what split generates is an array, but what strip generates is a string. So we can see now how functions have a specific input and also have a specific output. So strip has the input of a string and generates a string, and split has the input of a string and generates an array of strings according to splitting them by a given character. Okay. So now the next thing that we are going to do with strings is we are going to try to find a word or a substring into a string. So a way to do this is we can use some keywords, such as we can say print the result of, for example, let's say here is in A. Okay, so here in A. So the result is here is actually